Expectations are something that are really important to me. The clearer expectations are in any aspect of your business relationships, the better outcomes and relationships you're likely to have. And a white label pay-per-click service is no different. If you are looking at using a white label service provider for your pay-per-click management, then one of the most important things to understand from day one is, what should I expect them to do? What shouldn't I expect them to do? What's my responsibility and what's theirs? If you understand that from the start and everybody has clarity, then the relationship is much easier to manage because there's no grey area. We know what we're all responsible for, what we're all accountable for, and we can focus on delivering that and getting brilliant client outcomes. So let's run through some examples of things that are typically in and out of scope within a white label agency relationship for pay-per-click. Every agency relationship will be slightly different depending on your service provider, so these are just generic rules that we've experienced and we would expect to see. Let's look at the out of scope. Let's look at what's out of scope of a white label service provider relationship. So typically, your white label service provider is not the marketing department for your client. They're not responsible for the marketing strategy, for coming up with all the offers that the client's going to be making, for making sure that good follow-up processes are in place. That's not their responsibility. Either the client themselves or you as an agency should be in charge of directing the strategy from that client, for that client. Maybe use your white label service provider for advice, but ultimately it's your call or the client's call. And then generally it should be the client's call. They should own their own strategy with support and guidance from you. Your white label service provider is your fulfiller. They're there to deliver the agreed strategy. They're not there to own it for the client. Another common area we see of confusion is who is responsible for making the sale. And there can only be one answer to this. Your white label provider is usually responsible for lead generation and qualified traffic generation. They are not ultimately responsible for the sale. That's down to the quality of offer that your client has, their follow-up processes, their sales processes, and everything that happens from the point at which the traffic hits that client website or landing page until they become a customer. So understand that your AdWords and Facebook traffic provider is there to bring you qualified traffic. They're not there to make the customer. Similarly, a white label service provider should not be your salesperson as an agency owner either. You're responsible for making a sale. They will help you. They may provide you with pre-sale support material. That's something we do for our agency partners. But you should be responsible for making your own sales and having the skills and knowledge to do that. And also, once you've made the sale, it's your responsibility as an agency owner, not your service providers, to manage the client during the onboarding process. Onboarding is critical. Get a really solid onboard process. Your clients will be thrilled by it and wowed by it. Don't give them a reason to be doubtful during onboarding. But ultimately, it's your relationship, it's your responsibility to manage that process. And one final thing that I think is out of scope, which is worth mentioning, is changes to client websites. Very few white label providers want to change a client website. Think about the reasons why. If you as a white label provider make a change to a client website and something else breaks as a result, however unexpected, however even unrelated to the change made, the client is likely to point the fingers at your agency first and you in turn at the white label provider. That's an unreasonable risk for most white label providers to take on. And so we certainly don't, and I don't know many others who do either, for that reason. That's why landing pages built slightly outside are usually a great way to go for clients. Now, what's in scope? In scope is things that are fairly obvious. Building the campaign is clearly an in scope thing. Managing the campaign, Providing reports, providing feedback, providing guidance is in scope. And also liaising with you as the agency owner so that you're in a position to brief your client effectively. They're all things that are in scope for the white label service provider, and which you should expect them to execute exceedingly well.